Take a slow breath and allow yourself to arrive fully in this moment. The day has ended and nothing else is being asked of you right now. You don't need to solve anything. You don't need to replay conversations, analyze decisions, or prepare for what comes next. Tonight you are allowed to stop thinking. You are allowed to rest. So often the mind keeps working long after the body is tired. Thoughts repeat themselves, worries circle back, and the urge to figure it all out refuses to quiet down. But right now you can gently remind yourself that this moment is not meant for thinking. This moment is meant for peace. And peace begins when you give yourself permission to stop. You have already done enough today, even if it doesn't feel that way. Even if your mind tries to argue, your effort has been enough. You showed up in the ways you could. You handled what you were able to handle. And whatever remains unfinished does not need your attention tonight. Tomorrow will arrive with fresh energy. For now, you are allowed to set everything down. Let your shoulders soften. Let your forehead smooth out. Let your breath slow naturally. Nothing bad will happen if you stop thinking for a while. Life does not fall apart when you rest. In fact, life often becomes clearer when you stop forcing your mind to stay alert. You do not need to guard the future tonight. You do not need to protect yourself with constant thought. You are safe in this moment. If your mind keeps trying to pull you back into thinking, meet it gently. You don't need to fight it or silence it. Simply remind it, kindly and patiently, that there is nothing to do right now. You can imagine placing your thoughts on a shelf, knowing you can return to them later if you choose. For now, they can wait. This is not avoidance. This is rest. You may notice how exhausting it has been to stay mentally busy all the time. Overthinking can feel like responsibility, but it is often just a habit of tension. Tonight, you are invited to step out of that habit, even if only for a few minutes, even if only for this breath. Say softly within yourself, without pressure or effort, I don't need to think right now. I am allowed to rest. It is safe to be still. You don't have to believe these words completely for them to help. Your willingness to say them is enough. Your nervous system responds to kindness far more than to force. Each gentle reminder tells your body that it is safe to relax. As the mind begins to slow, you may notice a quiet space opening up inside you. This space does not need to be filled. It does not need to be understood. It is simply a place where you can rest. A place where you are not required to perform, decide, or plan. This space has always been here. You just don't visit it often. Tonight, you are returning to it. If you feel resistance, that's okay. If thoughts still come and go, that's okay too. You are not doing this wrong. There is no right way to rest. There is only willingness, and you are already willing enough. Let the night hold you now. Let the quiet do what it knows how to do. You do not need to supervise this moment. You do not need to stay alert. Peace does not require effort. It arrives naturally when you stop demanding so much from yourself. You are allowed to stop thinking. You are allowed to rest in peace. And for now, that is more than enough. As you rest a little more deeply now, it may help to understand something gentle and important about overthinking. Your mind did not begin doing this to hurt you. It learned this habit because at some point it believed it was protecting you. Overthinking is not a flaw in your character. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is simply a pattern that formed during moments when you needed certainty, reassurance, or control. The mind tries to keep you safe by anticipating every possible outcome. It replays conversations to prevent mistakes. It imagines future scenarios to avoid disappointment. It scans the past for clues, hoping to learn how to do better next time. This can feel exhausting, but beneath it all is an innocent intention to protect you from pain. Tonight, you are invited to recognize that intention with compassion rather than frustration. You may have been taught directly or indirectly that being alert all the time is responsible. that worrying means you care, that relaxing too much could lead to regret. Over time, the mind learned to stay busy, even when there was no immediate danger. It forgot how to turn itself off. This is not your fault. You adapted the best way you knew how. Right now, you don't need to fix this habit. You don't need to analyze where it came from, or judge yourself for having it. Awareness alone begins to loosen its grip. When you understand that overthinking is learned, you also understand something empowering. Anything learned can be gently unlearned. Notice how overthinking feels in your body. It often shows up as tension, tight shoulders, shallow breathing, a restless feeling in the chest or stomach. These sensations are signals asking for safety, not criticism. When the body feels safe, the mind naturally slows. That is why this moment of rest matters so much. You are not required to argue with your thoughts. You are not required to prove them wrong. You are not required to chase them away. Instead, you can simply say to yourself, I see what you're trying to do. That acknowledgement alone can bring relief. The mind does not need to shout when it feels heard. It does not need to repeat itself when it feels understood. Overthinking often grows stronger at night because the day finally becomes quiet. Without distractions, the mind tries to fill the silence, but silence is not a threat. Silence is a space for restoration. Tonight, you are learning to let silence exist without fear. You might notice thoughts still appearing. That's okay. Thoughts can come and go without being followed. Imagine them like leaves floating on water. You don't need to pick them up. You don't need to examine them. You can simply watch them drift by, knowing they will pass on their own. Remind yourself gently, my thoughts are not emergencies. I do not need to solve anything right now. I can return to this tomorrow if I choose. Each reminder tells your nervous system that it is safe to relax. And when the nervous system relaxes, the mind follows. This is how change begins, not through force, but through safety. You may also notice a fear beneath the thinking, a fear of losing control, a fear of missing something important, a fear of being unprepared. Meet that fear with kindness. Fear softens when it feels accepted. It tightens when it feels judged. Tonight, you are choosing acceptance. There is nothing wrong with you for thinking the way you do. There is nothing broken that needs fixing. There is only a habit ready to be replaced with peace. As you continue to rest, allow this understanding to settle in. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that notices them, and the awareness is always calm, always steady, always capable of rest. The mind can learn a new rhythm, a slower rhythm, a kinder rhythm, and it begins here simply by understanding that overthinking was never your enemy. It was just a signal that you needed safety. Tonight you are giving yourself exactly that. As your mind begins to understand itself with more compassion, you may now be ready to gently explore another truth, one that can bring deep relief when you allow it in. Much of overthinking is rooted in the need to control. Control feels like safety, but it often creates tension instead of peace. Tonight, you are not being asked to give up control completely. You are simply being invited to loosen your grip. Control often begins with good intentions. At some point in your life, you may have learned that staying alert, prepared, and in charge helped you feel secure. Perhaps it helped you avoid mistakes, disappointment, or emotional pain. And while that strategy may have served you once, it may no longer be serving you now. Holding everything together all the time is exhausting, and deep down, you already know that. Peace does not come from managing every detail. Peace comes from trusting that you do not have to. Notice how control feels in your body. It often shows up as tightness, tight shoulders, a clenched jaw, shallow breaths. Control keeps the body in a state of readiness, as if something might go wrong at any moment. Tonight, you are allowed to step out of that state. Nothing needs to be monitored right now. Nothing requires your supervision. Releasing control does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying more than you were meant to carry alone. Life was never designed to be managed entirely by the mind. There is a deeper intelligence at work, one that moves through breath, intuition, timing, and natural flow. This intelligence has guided you through moments you never planned for and brought you through challenges you once thought were impossible. You can trust that intelligence now. You may notice a fear arise at the idea of letting go. A thought like, if I don't think about it, something bad will happen. Gently remind yourself that worrying has not prevented pain in the past. It has only added more weight to your present moment. Letting go is not careless. It is kind. Imagine holding sand tightly in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But when you open your hand and allow the sand to rest there, it stays. Life responds the same way. When you soften, life softens with you. Tonight, you are invited to practice a small release. Not everything, just enough. You might say quietly within yourself, I don't need to control this tonight. I am allowed to rest. I trust that I will know what to do when the time comes. These words are not demands. They are gentle permissions. And permission is powerful. It tells your nervous system that it can stand down. It tells your mind that it does not need to stay on guard. Control often comes from the belief that you must do everything on your own. But you are not alone in this life. You never were. Support shows up in ways you cannot always predict, through timing, through people, through inner clarity that arrives when you stop forcing it. Clarity does not come from pressure. It comes from space. As you allow space tonight, you may feel a sense of relief, subtle at first, then deeper. Your breath may become slower. Your thoughts may feel less urgent. This is not something you are doing wrong. This is something you are doing right. Letting go is a skill, and like any skill, it grows with practice. You do not need to master it tonight. You only need to experience it briefly. Even a moment of release can remind your body what peace feels like. You are allowed to trust that tomorrow will meet you when it arrives. You are allowed to trust that answers do not disappear when you rest. You are allowed to trust life. As you continue to soften, remember this: you do not have to control the night for the morning to come. The sun rises without effort. The heart beats without instruction. Life moves forward even when you sleep. And tonight, you are learning to move with it instead of against it. As your body grows heavier and your breathing becomes slower, allow yourself to receive this gentle truth. Life does not stop working just because you stop thinking. Even now, as you rest, as your mind softens and your awareness drifts, life continues to move on your behalf. You do not need to stay alert for things to unfold correctly. You do not need to stay awake for support to arrive. There is a quiet intelligence woven into everything around you. It keeps your heart beating without effort. It moves the night toward morning without your involvement. It knows how to restore your body while you sleep and how to bring clarity when you wake. You have trusted this intelligence your entire life, even if you are not always aware of it. Tonight you are simply remembering that trust. So often the mind believes it must stay active to keep things from falling apart. But nothing important is being held together by your thoughts alone. Life is far more capable than that. When you rest, you are not abandoning responsibility. You are allowing balance to return. Rest is not a pause in life's movement. It is part of how life heals and realigns. Imagine how exhausting it has been to feel like everything depends on you, to believe that if you stop thinking, something will be missed. Tonight you are allowed to release that belief. The world does not require your constant attention to function. In fact, many things begin to work better when you step back. While you sleep, your body repairs itself cell by cell. Your nervous system recalibrates. Your mind sorts through the day and releases what no longer matters. And beyond your body, beyond your thoughts, life itself continues to arrange timing, connections, and opportunities in ways you could never force. Nothing is being neglected right now. Nothing is falling behind. Nothing is asking more of you. You may imagine placing everything you've been carrying into gentle hands that are not your own. You don't need to know whose hands they are. You only need to know that they are steady, patient, and kind. When you allow yourself to be supported in this way, something inside you finally relaxes. You are not meant to do everything alone. You never were. If your mind questions this, if it says, "But what if something goes wrong?" meet that thought with softness. Remind yourself that many things have gone right in your life without your constant control. Many problems resolve themselves in ways you never predicted. Many moments of grace arrived when you least expected them. Support often comes when you stop searching for it. As the night deepens, let yourself sink into the understanding that rest is not wasted time. Rest is preparation. It is during rest that insight forms quietly. It is during rest that strength returns. It is during rest that life reshapes itself gently around your well-being. You are allowed to trust this process. You are allowed to rest without guilt. You are allowed to let life hold you for a while. Nothing important needs to be decided tonight. Nothing needs to be fixed. Tomorrow will bring its own clarity, and you will meet it with a clearer mind and a softer heart, because you chose to rest now. As your thoughts become fewer and farther apart, let the feeling of support become more real than any worry. Let it move through your chest, your belly, your arms, your legs. Let it remind you that you are not alone in this world, even when things feel uncertain. Life is still moving. Guidance is still present. Support is still surrounding you. And as you continue to drift towards sleep, you can relax knowing that nothing is being missed. Everything that needs to unfold will unfold in its own time, without struggle, without force, and without fear. You are safe to rest. Life is taking care of you, even now. Now that your body feels more relaxed and your thoughts have softened, this is a gentle moment to allow new words to settle within you. These words are not meant to demand anything from you. They are here to soothe, to reassure, and to remind your mind that it is safe to slow down. There is nothing you need to focus on. Simply listen and allow the feeling behind the words to reach you. At this level of rest, your subconscious mind is naturally open. It receives messages through calm rhythm and repetition. There is no effort required. Even if you drift in and out of awareness, these affirmations will continue to reach the parts of you that need them most. As you breathe slowly, allow these words to flow gently through your awareness. I release the need to overthink tonight. I am safe to let my mind rest. I allow peace to replace worry. Feel how your body responds when it hears that it is safe. Your nervous system understands safety immediately. Muscles loosen, breathing deepens, thoughts begin to lose their urgency. I do not need to solve anything right now. I trust life to take care of what I cannot. I am supported even while I sleep. Let the affirmations arrive slowly, with pauses between them. In those pauses, your mind rests. In those pauses, healing happens. You are not required to repeat the words perfectly or hold them in your thoughts. Let them pass through you like soft music. I let go of the day with ease. I release mental tension. I choose calm. You may notice your thoughts drifting. This is not a distraction. It is a sign that your mind is learning a new rhythm, one that does not depend on constant activity. Drifting is welcome here. Drifting means you are letting go. I trust the flow of life. I trust that everything is unfolding in the right time. I trust myself. Trust is not something you force. It grows naturally when the body feels safe. These affirmations are simply reminders of a truth that already exists within you. You have trusted life before, even without realizing it. You can trust it now. I am allowed to rest deeply. I am allowed to feel peaceful. I am allowed to sleep. Notice how kind these words feel. There is no pressure in them, no expectation, only permission. Permission is powerful. It tells your inner world that it can finally stop trying so hard. If a thought returns, greet it gently and let it pass. You do not need to engage with it. You do not need to follow it. You can return your attention to the feeling of calm in your body, to the softness of your breath. Everything is being taken care of. I do not need to stay alert. I can rest now. These affirmations continue working, even when you stop listening. They settle into your subconscious, shaping your inner experience quietly and naturally. The mind does not need effort to change. It needs safety, consistency, and kindness. Let the words fade now into a feeling rather than sound, a feeling of calm spreading through you like warmth. That feeling stays with you as you drift closer to sleep. You do not need to hold on to the affirmations. They will hold you. And as the night continues, you can allow yourself to rest in the gentle knowing that peace is already here, growing quietly within you. As the night continues to deepen, allow yourself to settle into a quiet knowing that does not require effort or explanation. You have reached a place where nothing needs to be done anymore. There is no problem left to solve, no thought left to follow, no responsibility left to carry for now. This moment belongs to rest, and you are welcome here. You may notice that your body feels heavier, more supported, as if it is being gently held. This is your natural state returning. When the mind steps back, the body remembers how to relax. When you stop asking yourself to be alert, something inside you finally feels free to sleep. There is a deep peace available to you right now, not because everything in your life is perfect, but because you are allowing yourself to stop fighting the moment. Peace does not require answers. Peace does not demand certainty. Peace arrives when you allow yourself to trust that you do not need to carry everything alone. Tonight, you are choosing that trust. Even if it feels quiet, even if it feels small, that choice is enough. Tomorrow does not need to be planned tonight. Tomorrow does not need to be controlled. Tomorrow will arrive on its own. Life has always known how to move forward. The sun will rise without your help. Opportunities will continue to form. Answers will surface at the right time. You do not need to stay awake to make any of that happen. Rest is not a delay. Rest is part of the journey. As you lie here, allow yourself to believe, even gently, that all is well in this moment. You are breathing, you are supported, you are safe enough to let go. That is more than enough for now. If thoughts appear, let them pass without meaning. They are not instructions, they are not warnings. They are simply old habits losing their energy. You do not need to respond to them. You can allow them to fade into the background as sleep draws closer. You are not behind in life. You have not missed your chance. Nothing meant for you is lost. What is meant for you will meet you when you are ready, and rest is part of that readiness. By choosing peace tonight, you are allowing tomorrow to meet you with clarity instead of exhaustion, with openness instead of tension. As you drift closer to sleep, you may feel a gentle sense of relief, as if something heavy has been set down. That weight does not belong to you right now. You are allowed to leave it here. You are allowed to sleep without carrying it into the night. Everything does not need to be understood. Everything does not need to be fixed. Everything does not need to be decided. Some things unfold best when you are not watching them. Let your breath become slow and effortless. Let your body sink fully into the surface beneath you. Let the quiet do its work. Silence is not empty. Silence is healing. Tonight, you are resting in peace, not because life is finished, but because you trusted enough to pause. You trust that what needs your attention will return when the time is right. You trust that support does not disappear when you close your eyes. And in that trust, sleep comes naturally. You are held. You are guided. You are safe to rest. Let the night carry you now. Let tomorrow wait. Everything you need will meet you when you wake. For now, rest in peace.